Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Before I gave you my Black Adam non-spoiler review, I gave you a preface. I said this movie isn't Superman 78, it isn't Batman 89, it isn't The Dark Knight, it isn't Batman Begins, it isn't even The Batman or the Joker movie, and it's not supposed to be, but it's still a really, really good film. But I thought I'd tell you that before I did my non-spoiler review the other day, because I thought that was important for people to understand. So when I spoke about the film, you didn't think I was being disrespectful or voting it down. It is what it is. Let me ask you a question. When you go to see a film starring The Rock in a comic book movie adaptation, do you expect William fucking Shakespeare? Do you expect deep text and long words, or do you expect someone beating the living shit and killing bad guys and being utterly awesome? I know what I expected, and I was very happy. I expected 2 hours of popcorn chomping greatness, and I did. So anyone comparing and reacting to this film in other ways, saying, oh, the plot was a bit messy, and this, and no, stop it. I believe that critics or anyone judging a film and reacting to a film should judge it on the audience it was made for. So no one gives a shit about the plot. We just want to see superhero greatness. And that fucking cameo, that mid-credit scene, right? That's like literally for 5 seconds, right? Is great. And a certain someone is shot so beautifully that when I get the physical media for that movie, that's going to be my fucking wallpaper. That might be one of the best ways that that character has ever been shot in live action, by the way. And so here I've got a Hollywood Reporter article that has the reactions for Black Adam. The full reviews will be out next week. I would assume that some people will shit on this film in the reviews by doing everything I just said they shouldn't be doing. Maybe it will have a rotten score, a fresh score. I don't think it's going to be like a 99% movie, that's for sure. But it doesn't matter what these people do or say. There's a certain someone in a cameo. It's a really good popcorn chomping movie. And that will make the movie enough money to give us more. Considering James Gunn's The Suicide Squad was a flop and he's getting spin-off after spin-off, right? And the Batman didn't even make $1 billion and it's already getting a Penguin spin-off and a fucking sequel. By the way, Colin Farrell's been talking about the Penguin spin-off and it literally is a sequel to the Batman. It starts 1 week after the Batman and apparently the Flood is still a thing. Very exciting. Getting back to Black Adam now. Another question for you. Why is it that DC live action content is held to higher ideals than the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Why is it held alongside every film and live action piece of content held alongside Smallville, Batman 89 and Superman 78? Maybe when you have a superior iconography, this is what happens. Because DC live action has a vaster CV of live action content and mostly superior than Marvel and its cinematic universe. These are facts. Superman the movie, the first live action movie in DC ever made, the first attempt was one of the best attempts. And I can list all the movies I think shit all over Marvel, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, let's get into these reactions. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, and it's literally got a list of everyone's reactions. Not everyone's, but quite a few. DC's Black Adam first reactions to Dwayne Johnson's superhero film from the New York premiere. The latest entry in the DCEU hits theatres on October the 21st. This is by Abid Rahman of the Hollywood Reporter. DC's Black Adam was unveiled to a New York audience following its premiere at AMC Empire 25 in Manhattan on Wednesday night. The official review embargo for Black Adam lifts next week, but the social media embargo for early reactions lifted after the premiere. The film stars Dwayne Johnson as the titular DC anti-hero Black Adam, who has been in prison for 5,000 years before being freed into modern times. Directed by Spanish director Jaime Collet-Serra, The Shallow's orphan, Black Adam is the 11th film in the DC Extended Universe, DCEU. The film also stars Aldis Hodge as Hawkman, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher Serishali, as Isis Marwan, Kenzari as Sabak, Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone, and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. So, here's some reactions. Eric Davis. DC's Black Adam rocks, tons of action, characters you're instantly invested in, and a terrific pacing. Dwayne Johnson finds a great balance in being menacing and badass, but also empathetic. Especially loved Aldis Hodge's Hawkman and Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. More JSA movies, please. Black Adam. This is from Ben Rolfe. Black Adam is DC's most action-packed film to date. It's non-stop thrill ride, that it's all about spectacle, and it knows it. Can I just say something, right? If it's just all about spectacle and that's a put down, let me just ask this. Did you think you were getting Shakespeare? Did you think you were getting something else? No, of course it's about fucking spectacle. Anyway, and it knows it. There is barely any time to breathe or even talk. That's good. That's pretty much like Man of Steel. The Rock is a perfect Black Adam, plus Pierce Brosnan is a standout. The film will leave fans buzzing. Scott Menzel. Black Adam is everything that I hoped it would be and more. Snyder-esque anti-hero spectacle that delivers big action and impressive set pieces. Dwayne Johnson transforms into Black Adam, a role that he was born to play. Centineo and Swindell are so damn fun to watch. I agree. BD, Brandon Davis. Now, Brandon Davis was a bit disgraced a few months ago, but he's come back into the fold. We'll say no more about that, Brandon, because we all do things we regret. Black Adam is built on some epic non-stop action. It made me want a sequel with a smoother story immediately. Did you think you were going to go into a film with a smooth story, or even where the story really mattered? Let me tell you what the fucking story of Black Adam is. Guy has been in prison for 5,000 years. He escapes. He's fucking bitter, twisted, and angry, right? And he's a threat to humanity, in a way. Then bigger threat comes in. That's your fucking plot. What else did you expect? What did you want? What did you want from this film? I don't understand. Anyway, when it moves, it's a straight shot of adrenaline. The characters are dope, especially Tef Adam and Dr. Fate. It's a badass film. Joseph Deckermeyer. Black Adam is a game changer. This is the DC Comics movie I've been waiting for, and it did not disappoint. The Rock is electrifyingly brutal as Black Adam. This is what I wanted Black Adam to be. The action is in the film is non-stop, and seeing the JSA on the big screen was a thrill. Now, Joseph works for Screen Rant. He's a huge Black Adam fan, by the way, so he's really shilling this movie. I don't blame him. It's not a game changer, but it's a really good film. And it doesn't have to be a game changer. That's my point. I always try to be direct and honest with my audience here on Movies TV Mad and on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So if I thought this was the greatest movie of all time, I'd fucking tell you that. It's not, but it does what it's supposed to do. That's the whole point. So there's nothing controversial about this film. It's a safe space for you, geeks and nerds, to just go and enjoy it. So go and enjoy it. Sean Keane. Had to go through metal detectors for Black Adam, I don't care. New York screening, pity it's bad, no emotional depth, zero sense of peril for the main characters, and dull CGI battles. Yeah, you basically went in to see a movie that was always going to have CGI battles. I don't know what you mean by dull. I didn't see dull CGI battles. But anyway, yeah, and basically that's all he says. So this guy was in a bad mood. Look, everyone's entitled to not like a movie, but it sounds like you don't really like superhero movies anyway, so you weren't going to like this. Anyway, we move on. I digress. My scary name, yet some people are putting up their Halloween names up. The Rock is terrific in Black Adam, which includes a hearty amount of real-world touchstones. Most affecting is it reinforces the need for heroes in bleak times. Director John Collet-Serra lays out building blocks for a larger, grander universe. Action is lively and big in scale. Matt Niglia. Black Adam struggles to find its footing at first, but once the Justice Society enters, it becomes more fun to watch. Dwayne Johnson's anti-hero presents an intriguing new dynamic to the DCEU. Solid visual effects, solid. Weak villain, post-credit scene got the biggest reaction of all. Listen, what can I say about the villain? The villain is kind of the end villain you get on a game, if you're a gamer, right? And that villain is harder to beat up than the others. That's what that villain is. And you know what? Sometimes you don't need a fucking Leto's Joker. And again, that's okay. But again, you've got to judge a film for the audience it's meant for, what it's meant to do. And if it does what it's supposed to do, then you should give it the thumbs up, right? That's the point. But unfortunately, if you're going in to see William Shakespeare say, Romeo, Romeo, for art thou, our Romeo. I haven't done Shakespeare for a long time, so I'd probably just fuck that up. But that's the point. You're not going to get that. Black Adam is a massive DC outing. The action is brutal and Dwayne Johnson delivers on his promise of shifting the DCEU in a different direction. The story itself is up and down as certain scenes don't pack the intended punch, although there are moments that fans will love. That's a balance. I can take that. Dorian Parks. I have seen Black Adam. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and it did not disappoint. The action sequences were incredible, especially the ones with the JSA. The Rock crushes it as Black Adam. The film's end left me with high hopes for the future of the DCEU. So there's some of many reactions, and I'm sure there's a lot more. And I think they're balanced reactions. I think there's a few that didn't like the movie, and basically people are saying about this movie, wow, I went in to see a popcorn chomping, beat 'em up, awesome movie. The Rock's being a fucking rock, kicking the living shit out of people. He is Black Adam. It makes sense. The connectivity to the rest of the DCEU, as I told you in my non-spoiler review, is excellent. So if you went to see that, you're not going to be disappointed. So mostly it's positive, but the reviews could go either way. I think, you know, like the proper critics are not going to like this film because proper critics don't judge films for the audience they're meant for. And there lies the problem. But as I say, if it's a Marvel movie, because they don't really expect too much from a Marvel movie, it's the bestest movie ever. Great, Kevin Feige does it again. But DC, as I said earlier on top of the show, is held to higher standards because we have got higher standards. The MCU standards are not that high. Whether you tell me about Civil War or Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which are okay films, and Infinity War, they're some of their best, but still, they don't compare to the best in DC. And I'll argue with you about that. And I will expose you about that. These are the fucking facts. Put what you want in the comments below. I stand by my fucking opinions. I told you what Black Adam is. Black Adam is a good, solid comic book, super anti-hero villain story. It is great. It makes sense. You're going to enjoy it. Go in to watch that. If you want to see Joker, if you want to see The Dark Knight, you're going to be disappointed. But you shouldn't be going to see that anyway. So what I see from these reactions is the people who went to see what they were supposed to see got what they wanted. And people who are trying to twist the needle will say negative things. I don't expect it to have the high scores on Rotten Tomatoes next week. I think it will just about be verified fresh. Just about. But it's all about box office, everyone. Before I end this video, I want to say something that I said months ago. These 5 upcoming movies in the DC Extended Universe, including Black Adam, it don't really matter what these people say, ultimately. It matters what you say. If you go to the cinema and support this movie, and it makes lots of money and it does well, and the next 4 movies that are upcoming do really well as well, the DCEU lives on and survives. If this movie flops and the other 4 movies flop, then it's done, and they will start again. This 10-year plan will be a total reboot, not a semi-reboot, not a mini-reboot, a proper reboot, and the DCEU will be dead. If you want the DCEU as it is to live on, and, you know, this future with, Justice League and the Suicide Squad versus Black Adam, Final Crisis. If you want all that, you need to support these movies. It's up to you. What critics say don't matter. It's what you say that matters. And how you speak is via the box office. Support this movie or don't support this movie, because David Zaslav can spin it and say, these movies are nothing to do with us. We didn't set these fucking movies in motion. This was Emmerich and this was Hamada. So if they're good, they can give them a pat on the back. And if they don't do well, they can say, well, it was their fault, not our fault. It's a great position for Zaslav and Alan Horn to be in right now. So, of course, they want these films to make money. They're desperate for some profits because, the studio from the previous leadership was run so badly. This is a debt-ridden company. They're making so many cuts. They made another controversial cut the other day, and they had to backtrack on that. They're now into kind of merging Cartoon Network with Warner Brothers Animation as well. This is not Zaslav's fault. He's making these decisions to keep the fucking studio going. And non-business people can lose their shit. Progressives can lose their shit. But Zaslav is doing the right thing. So there are no guarantees with Black Adam. There's no guarantees in the future of the DCEU unless you support it. I'm fine. If the DCEU survives and these movies are successful and great, brilliant. If they fail and we have to start again, I'm not that fussed either. Because either way, I'm happy. If these movies succeed and we can fix the DCEU to be something that everyone can enjoy and not some people enjoy, great. But if we have to start again, you know what? Even better. Because then we can forget about everything that's gone before and start from fresh and put the right people in charge of this universe. This has been Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Do you like the shirt? I've worn it before. It's cool, right? Wasn't very expensive. Don't worry about my finances. So, if you like what you see, please like, share and subscribe. And I will be back with the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.